finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Talk Radio 77 WABC. Talk Radio 77 WABC. The Rita Cosby Show.
Can you imagine after 9/11 someone coming over to the United States and saying, sit back, let's do a ceasefire? Are you kidding me? Those people in that part of the world, that is the only thing they understand is strength, and Israel needs to wipe out Hamas once and for all.
Listen to The Rita Cosby Show. Weeknights at 10 on Radio 77 WABC.
James Holden, known popularly as Mo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with Mo Snerdley. Oh, hold it. Listen, 1969. David Ruffin had left. They already had Cloud 9 in the bag. It was done. Hit #1. Temptations break out with this one. Eddie Kendricks. And Dennis Edwards. Chicka boom, baby. This was hot. Went up to #1 on this day in 1969. Oh, news. I got news. Well, for me, it's news. The Countess of Conspiracy herself. This is the person that knows more about conspiracy and kookery than anyone else alive. She knows the entire kook marketplace, the conspiracy marketplace. You mention a conspiracy, she knows not only who the players are in the conspiracy, she knows all sides of the conspiracy. This is the person who taught me about the 5G towers and what they're doing to people. This is the person who taught me about those, what are they called? The chemtrails and what they're doing to people. And I get pictures. She sent me like a library of pictures of chemtrails and what they're doing to people. This is the person that knows all about the aliens and what happened. This is the person that knows about the vaccines, and some of the stuff that she's saying there ain't kooky either. And she knows all. She is the Countess of Conspiracy. Everybody wants to know her name. I cannot give her name. It is a state secret. If I give her name, I'm putting her in danger because she is wanted for revealing the truth to people all around the world on these things that affect our lives. The Countess of Conspiracy herself texted me during the break and says,
yeah,
already knew that.
All right.
Like what? What did you, we Coops knew that already. What did you know? We knew how Nimrod did it. We knew from the very beginning.
Sorry about that. Welcome and hello, everybody. I'm just picking up here. I was cleaning here. I had to add this thing here. I built this a couple of days ago. So I can put more radios up here. So I was just fitting it in there. Hello, Elmer Time. AD7LN checking in. Hello, my radio DXer. And good evening.
There were times, and I must admit this, there were times when this case was dragging on through the second or third year that I kept saying, enough already. Enough. But it's not enough for the family because this poor girl was murdered She went to Aruba on vacation, got murdered, and everybody kind of figured out, even the Coops may have known this too, who did it. But he
Yep.
Joran, and I've been pronouncing his name.
I got a mess here, man. I got a real mess in this place now. I'm cluttering up here, you can see.
The Viking name. Joran Vandersloot has finally admitted.
So now I got to get another bunch of wires, jumper wires, hook that up to. I'm thinking about a second MLA 30 or put a switch on me on the MFJ to hook that up. But I built this a couple of days ago. This was scrap wood that I have. This is actually left over from the basement shelving. I cut it up and I made kind of a small stand. Stained it, sanded down. I stained it. It's not the best build, but hey, you know, it'll hold it up. Not the best build. You know, I'm not the best carpenter. I really need a table saw. That's the problem. I only have a circular saw. I have a jigsaw, a circular saw. What else I have? A reciprocating saw, but that's not really for that stuff. Of course, I have a good old-fashioned hand saw. And yeah, I don't even have a workbench. Not yet. I mean, I made one in the garage. 3 years ago, I made a workbench in the garage, but it's stacked. It's all stacked up over there with stuff. Originally, I was gonna bring that in here, that makeshift workbench, and bring it in here, but that thing was, you know, it's kind of ugly, and I don't want to. I want a little. I don't want it to be too ugly. You know. Let me stand. Let me sit over here. So, yeah, I know. I can imagine compared to, you know, you still got boxes and all that. But I mean, you know, in terms of like right now, since I moved up, it's been since when I made the announcement that I was going to move up here. I'm trying to remember. I have to go back. Let me go back on my live stream. What was the last live stream I did in the basement? Let me see. My last live stream I did in the basement was, let's see. Okay, April, May. Okay. So May 9th. May 9th was my last live stream in the basement. We are now in October the 18th. October the 18th. And I still have to do that side over there. I got retro computing stuff here. So May 9th. So we're talking about, let's just say May, June, July, August, September. So I'm going on to 6 months. I'm still bringing stuff up here, you know, because I have other stuff to do. You know, I have to, you know, my channel's not the only thing I do all day, you know. So that's just relocating stuff and trying to get the right, you know, because I also try to get the right look. I'm trying to replicate also what I had in the basement. You know, now I have more radios here. Remember when I started a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, I had nothing here. I had that little shelving over here. So now it's evolving. Now I got my Grundig 750 here. So now I need to hook that up to an external. Or share them to do. Actually, I have a switch. Maybe I can share those two. Just share the two Grundig with the MLA 30. So I'm trying to replicate it. You know, let me get another shot. I mean, it's starting to resemble like a shack now. You know, I got all these. So you see, I got my transceivers right there. I'm finally trying to get it to where more or less I want it to be. Although I'm not satisfied with it. Of course, I got computers on there, you know. You know, and you know, trying to accommodate everything up here. So I don't know, it's just maybe my OCD and all that stuff. OCD and then the thing is, as soon as I move up here, because I'm leaving the basement because of war, flooding, but possible flooding. I don't want to one day to a point where it gets catastrophic event and I'm like 3 feet underwater or whatever the hell in the basement, and everything's lost. So I move up here and then I get this on my ceiling, and that's moisture. You see that bubble? The plaster. So now I have that to contend with. I move up here, and all the years that this room's been occupied, I never seen that bubble like that. That's the latex. That's basically what happened. We had so much rain here that the moisture made that latex. So now I'm a few weeks away from taking all this out. I had to rip that, scrape that part out, and put a nickel compound and redo the area of the ceiling. So as soon as I settle down here, now I have to fix that ceiling. It's frustrating. Yeah, I know. So that means that there was moisture there. Because remember, this past summer, I didn't get to go to the roof. I was supposed to paint the roof with the roofing paint. It's a aluminum type roofing paint. And it was that was fine until the last few weeks, because we had so much rain the last few weeks. So I get so much moisture now. Boom. It's like it's not one thing, it's another. And this room was fine for all these years until I started bringing everything up here. And we had that crazy amount of rain. It's really frustrating.
Okay, let me go through the list first. I'll go through the list first, because I promised I was going to do this. And I know if you're listening to
I had that happen before. I mean, years ago, and it happened in the other room. It was not as bad as this, but it was a little, and it leaked. There was a little leak. And it only happened when we got a lot of rain. I mean, I'm talking about 5 inches of rain like something like crazy, like 5 inches of rain. Like something that the problem is happening more and more often now. Something like that, 5 inches of rain, you wouldn't get that maybe every 10 years. Or a little less than that. But every few years. Like I wouldn't say every 10 years. It seems to be happening now multiple times a year. This year alone, 2023, we already had about 3 instances that we went over 5 inches. 3 instances already. And the year's not over yet. I could count at least 3, maybe 4 instances. I'm going to say, I know for sure 3. Now we have more than 5 inches in a 24-hour period. So, it's crazy. It's crazy that I come up here now, that's happening. So now I have to, when I repair that, I have to take all this out of the way. This desk. I could put a tarp. I have tarp. I could put a big tarp over it. You know, I can put a big tarp over it, but you know why? It's gonna some of if I'm gonna try to be careful, of course, but I have to patch that up. So that's gonna happen within the next few weeks. Most likely the next few weeks. 'Cause right now we're in October the 18th. So you know, we're getting into near November. Once we get around November, we don't get rain around after around right before Thanksgiving. We don't get any more rain until the spring, until like because the weather gets colder, it gets drier. Right now, it's a lot of humidity. Right now, it's a lot of humidity right now. This is like the very humid, and not hot and humid. I'm talking about just humid. In this area here of because I have a whole bunch of trees back there. They still have a lot of leaves on them. All the leaves are not falling yet. They still have a lot of leaves. And those leaves won't fall until right before Thanksgiving. Maybe right before Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving, or then all the leaves will be gone. So we get a lot of humidity in this part. And of course, like I said, this past year has been crazy with the rain. Not a lot of rain. Yeah. So I'm putting all these things here, and this is this is a pain in the ass to bring all this stuff out. And then that bubbling happened. It's like, so I have to do that whole area. The whole area right there. Over here is okay. So that whole area, and the corner over there too, a little bit. But the whole area right there. I just cut it with a utility knife. Take it out. Latex. Of course, part of it is because I use cheap paint. It's not the most expensive paint that I put up there, and that's been up there for a few years. So, that too. When you use not the best latex paint, I painted this room when I did fix this setup recently, but most of this room I painted it. I think it was over 5 years ago now. So usually when you buy not the best paint, usually 5 to 6 years, maybe a little more is okay. The paint starts on the walls. That is on the ceiling. That's the thing. So, I guess that's expected too. So. Okay, I'm just gonna switch here at this point because. Hello, Bobby. WA 5107 SWL from Morgan City, Louisiana. I got this cut on my nose, man. I've been blowing my nose all these days. My son has been sick for the last 3 days. He has a cold. He missed 3 days straight of school, so he has to go tomorrow. Because after 3 days, we have to give him. My teacher is okay, and my son is, and school-wise, he's doing okay. He's actually above reading and math for his grade, because they just did an assessment test, so he's okay. But we all have this sniffle. I had to put on the heat. I had to put on the heat a few days. It's already a few days since I put the heat on. This is like the earliest I put the heat on in recent last year. I think I put the heat on right before Halloween. So this is like the earliest, because it got chilly at night. I mean, that's a good thing because it's getting rid of that humidity. Yep. Yeah, so now I have to fix that thing. And I'm gonna answer a question today. I'm gonna comment on the post, because somebody asked me about the D109. I don't know. It happens to other radios, but I noticed with this radio, there's another. I don't want to call it a glitch. And I don't have the battery on this one. I'm not gonna try with this one. But what happens is, I think it was the opposite of her case, because she said the question was. Let me go look for the question. It's a simple fix, but let me go to videos. I answered the question, but something came up like last night, and I actually had to. Let me see the review. Let me go to the review.
Okay, and this is in Nick LaMota of New York's office. New York's office, the contempt shown. Now, let me say one thing about these people, these Congress people that tell you all the time. Well, we only take calls from people in our district. We only take calls from people in our district. Hey, losers, you don't have any problem.
Oh, it's Priya. Okay, I'm gonna Priya Narayan. I don't know if I pronounced the last name correct. I'm sorry. 9426. That's her name. And her handle, excuse me, on it could be a couple of things. So I'm going to answer this question. So she asked me about this radio. How do we get to switch off the device when not in use? The power button doesn't seem to do that. So I think you're referring to maybe the power button is not responding. I know I wrote a different answer. My answer was yeah. Because I didn't understand the question exactly, other than when you turn off, you normally when you have the radio on, of course this one doesn't have the battery, so there's nothing is. When you want to turn off the radio, you just press off, and you'll get you normally when as soon as you press the button off, you're gonna get the word off on the screen. Then it's gonna turn off the radio. Of course, you're still gonna have the display. You're gonna have a display. You're just gonna have the time display and the battery indicator and the little alarm display right in the corner. But if you leave the light on, if the backlit light stays on and you don't want that to be on, then you got to press that BW button. And that button, okay, this zoom is ridiculous. Come on, man. You got to press, if you want the backlight to be off, then turn off that, you got to turn off that BW/light. You see the light bulb button? You press and hold that. You press it, just press that button, and that'll get rid of the backlight. It won't, because you can have the backlight the whole time. Even when you turn off the radio, it'll stay on, I believe. Just press that backlight. Now, I believe what she was asking me was something else, which I found. This is the second time it happened to me with this radio. Sometimes this radio freezes. For example, last night I was charging the radio, and I tried to turn the radio on, but I didn't want to turn on. The battery's fully charged, but the radio did not want to turn on. In other words, it didn't respond. So maybe that was happening to her on the other end. Maybe she had the radio on and this thing stopped responding. Simplest way to fix it is you got to get a pin, hit that reset. You stick a little pin in there. That'll clear up whatever basically whatever glitch is going on, it'll clear it up and they'll be fine. And the radio, come back to life. I noticed that it happened with this radio. This is the second time it happened with me in this radio. The power button won't respond at all. Whether the radio is on and you want to turn it off and you press it and it won't respond, or the radio is off and you want to press this radio on and the radio doesn't respond. It doesn't turn on. And it happened to me last night. The radio was off. It was charging. I went to turn it on. It didn't want to respond. I took out the battery for a few minutes. I put it back. It still didn't want to respond. I had to hit the reset. You stick a pin in there. You stick a pin in there. Make sure you know, something that'll fit in there. Something like what you use for your phone. You know, when you want to remove your SD card from your phone. Something about that you could use that the one that came with your phone. Like my phone, I don't have it with me, but my phone came with one of those. Or paper clip, something the diameter of that. Okay. That's what you do. So if this on off the power button doesn't respond, either you're trying to turn off the radio or you're trying to turn on the radio, it's not responding, you hit the reset. You just stick a pin in there, press it, make sure as soon as you press it, I don't think you have to hold it for a second. I think you hold it for like a second and you'll see everything, and come back to life. And so I noticed that with this radio. I haven't noticed it with any other radio because I've been using this radio. This is like one of my go-to radios now. I've been using it all the time. But this is the second time it happened to me that it did not want to respond. The power button. So I think in her case, that's gonna be. I'm gonna answer the question with another, but I'm gonna have to answer that. So if she's watching this or she watches the replay, then yeah, just if the power button's not responding, whether you want to turn it off or you want to turn on the radio and it's not responding, just reset it. Hit the reset. It should fix it. It happened to me twice already with this radio in the last few months. So, I thought I just answered her question a few days ago, but I was like, so I think she was answering. I answered her with a different because I thought it was something else, but I understand now. So there is an issue with this radio when it comes to the power button. Sometimes it won't respond. So just hit the reset, and that should take care of that. All right. So let me answer a question. I'm going to type the question in for her. I mean the answer. Excuse me. And hello, TV radio ID scans. No, you're not late. I didn't schedule this today. I just decided to come on and just do a little quick live stream. I don't know. Not doing anything right now. I don't feel like cleaning downstairs today. So I was just because I was adding this up here, this stand for another couple of radios up there. So I figured let me just throw a quick stream. Let me get the viewing hours. It's all about viewing hours. If you want to stay monetized, you gotta do the viewing hours. So if anytime I can stream, I'm gonna stream. That's it. I don't care. Even if I'm just picking up stuff in the room, I'm gonna stream. I don't care. So let me answer her question. So okay. I'm also gonna let me just answer her question also. Yeah. I'm just I'm commenting on the question that she posted. So I just answered the question, but I want to post it for her. See me, I answer questions. I'm gonna tell you, some of these YouTubers I hate, they'll read the comment. Don't even read comments. Me, I read comments, and I go out of my way to answer questions. So keep that in mind. For you people that don't subscribe to my channel, this is another reason why you should subscribe to my channel. I go out of my way to answer questions, and if I can't answer it, I'll ask it in here, and Google it. So I'm going to my way to answer. I don't know if she's a subscriber or not, but I'm going to answer her question. I'm telling you, I know a lot of YouTubers out here that don't even answer. They won't even answer your question. They don't have the time of day to answer a question. Now, don't tell me, can you call me? No, I'm not doing all that. But if you ask me a question on the comment, and I'm going to answer, I can answer it. So also, if the power button is not responding. I'm reading this as this is what I'm talking about. If you subscribe to all these people that you watch, I guarantee you, most of them they don't have the time of day to answer anything. Okay, and I go out of my way to answer people's questions. Every comment, I try to read every comment that's on this chat. You just keep that in mind, people. Stick.
With Richard in New Jersey. You're up first. What's on your mind, Richard?
Yes, so I'm a studio musician, and I played up at the Sugar Hill Studio several times, and I met Laura Nero when I worked with Bette Midler in California. She was just a marvelous soul, quiet person. She came with Melissa Manchester, another singer from that time. And at Sugar Hill Studio, you were talking about that several weeks ago. I saw and played with on an album. Hello, you still there?
I'm listening, and the clock is ticking.
Yeah, and other people. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for supporting this inner circle of music that occurs in New York and Detroit and Memphis, as well as California. It's good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Actually,
that helps.
My boat just wanted to be blinded, take the country, and also Laura Europe solo album New York Tenderberry featured a new group called Not Bells.
Oh, you are so honored. Thank you, Paula. I appreciate that comment.
So there you go, Priya. Hope that helps. Priya. Okay, Priya.
In the process, they killed 34 American sailors and wounded some more.
Ah, shoot, I forgot.
171 sailors in medicine.
See, I have to proofread. Okay, the power button, not the power. Is the power button not responding? You may need to take a small paper inside the raise that hole underneath the radio. Sometimes the radio seems to freeze and the power button won't work. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. Okay, there you go. All right. You know, so I go out of my way to answer questions. You know, I'm telling you, I know. I watch others. I'm talking about. I'll leave a comment, no even reply, nothing. I mean, I understand you get to a certain number. It's like, well, okay, you're too big to answer everybody's. Well, that's fine. You know, sometimes but I make an effort. You know, I make an effort. It's what got me here. You know, 2,641 subscribers. Every single one of you. That's what got me to this number. Because it works that way. Without you guys, my channel will be now. Where's that now? It's nowhere near them big as a lot of other channels. That's fine. But I want to separate from all the other channels in terms of, like, you know, I try to respond, and you know, sometimes I'll spend a couple of hours just answering comments on all my channels, not only this channel, but you know, every once in a while I'll see, okay, which channel I'm behind on comments. You know, of course, this channel is the one that I update the most, and I do. But the other channels, sometimes I won't comment for a couple of weeks or so, or even and then I'll comment there. And I don't like to leave a whole bunch of comments on, you know, I like a whole queue of comments not answered. Because I enjoy reading them. Even the idiots. Except for the idiots, they just get banned. Although I haven't had any, you know, knock on wood, I haven't had anybody post anything like trolling my accounts or anything. No, I haven't had anything like that. You know, in a long time, actually, nobody had posted something really, you know. I got a couple of snarky comments, but they don't, you know, I'll just say thank you for watching. I don't. Sometimes they'll comment about something like the guy with the soldering skills. I'll just say, well, thank you for watching. Whatever. I'm not gonna justify my soldering skills and all that. I'm not. I even said it. I said it many times. My soldering is not the best soldering. So, what you want me to go to soldering school? Jesus Christ. Radio ID scan. What do you like? Xbox or PlayStation? I like the Xbox. I never owned a PlayStation. So I like the PlayStation. It looks nice. I mean, I remember my friend had the PS1. I remember that. Then he had the PS2. And then there was a time that I was away from any type of games. There was a period of time where I didn't play any retro gaming or any type of game. We're talking about like the late 90s. I think it was the late 90s. I was like the late 90s. Actually, like early 2000, late 90s. I stopped playing video games altogether. I just didn't. No more computer games. No more. I was busy doing other stuff. Especially after 2001. Some personal stuff that was going on in my life. Especially after 9/11 and all that. There was some personal stuff that happened, and I was going through some rough time. So I was not into anything. I was not into any type of hobby. The only thing I was into at that time was actually trying to stay, was fitness. I was doing a lot of running. I was doing a lot of, which was a good thing actually. Those things were good. I was doing a lot of walking. I was starting to take up. It actually started leading to this. I was doing a lot. I had digital camera at the time, early digital camera. I started doing more photography stuff. I wanted to do more outdoor stuff. And then I had, my guy, I knew somebody I used to always hang out with. He was like my best friend at the time. But then he became a police officer, and I'm not trying to knock people that do that, but he started changing. Like he didn't have time for me. I guess he had his own priorities and all that. I understand that. I understand that. And then of course 2010 happened around 20. Then my mom passed away. That was a big deal when my mom passed away. That really messed me up. And I was like, I was in limbo. So I didn't get back into video games. I started doing my channel. When I did this channel, I started this channel in 2016. I got back into the radio hobby. And then a year after that or so, I started my retro gaming channel. And by then I started already buying stuff. I started buying I started revisiting. Bought a Commodore. Then I bought a second Commodore. Then I bought an Amiga computer. I started buying. Then I got back into gaming, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that because I had moved here. Let me see. When I started my retro gaming channel, I started my retro gaming channel in 2017. Yeah, March 2017. Okay, so about 6 months or so. When I started this channel in 2016, March 2017, I started the retro gaming channel. Yeah. So I started that channel, and I didn't know what to do with it, but I figured I always wanted to do something. Actually, I wanted to do something with retro gaming more than this channel. I wanted to revisit, like games that I used to play when I had my back in the 80s and all that. So I don't have a favorite console. I mean, the one I used to play the most was the Sega Genesis in terms of consoles. And of course, computers. Commodore computer. That was my console. That was my console before the consoles came out. But back in the early 80s, there was no console. The only console that came out before that was the Atari 2600. It was Atari. Nintendo no weren't out yet. And then Nintendo, there was Sega, right? Sega Master System, which I didn't like. I didn't like the Sega Master System. I still liked my Commodore better. I could do better. I did more stuff with the Commodore in terms of games than the Sega Master System. And then Nintendo had the NES. Yeah, Nintendo was nice, but I still didn't like it. The original Nintendo system, I was not a big fan of. A lot of people were playing Super Mario. I thought it was okay. It was cute, but I was more computer guy. So that's why I never related a lot to. I only related because watching it. So let me turn this off. Okay, I don't want to hear this. I don't know why I put that stuff on. It's like sometimes it's like depressing listening to all this stuff. So my thing is I wasn't like even now when the 16-bit system came out, that was a step up from what I have on the Commodore. Because the Commodore is 8-bit. It's an 8-bit computer. The Amiga computer came out after that, but I never owned an Amiga. I never owned Alaska. Oh, I got Alaska. Ooh. But I never owned an Amiga because it was out of my price range back in the 80s. And now it's 16-bit. 16-bit computer. Wow, I'm all over the place today. PSK. Okay, wow. Fiji, Chatham Islands, Alaska. Is it the same guy? Okay. No. Yeah. And then of course, I had the original Xbox somebody gave to my wife, and then she just gave it to me. That one had modded game, but I never used to play that. I was never. My thing is, I was always a Sega Genesis guy, and of course Commodore. I'm always my heart is in the Commodore computer because that's what you could relate to. I know you're younger, and you wasn't even born yet when you wasn't even born yet when even when the Xbox came out. Even the original PS1, you wasn't even born yet. Yeah. So, I don't have a favorite. It's just that I like, especially retro gaming channel. Yeah, it's good. It's good to, that's why I like now when you get older and, everything is not so expensive. Well, everything is always expensive. What I mean is that when you have something like this, I'm sorry, let me just go here, focus. See, when you have something like this, now you don't have to buy you don't have to collect every single console. Like for example, that's 3 consoles right there that I don't own. I don't own an original Nintendo or Super Nintendo or the original Jet. I don't own any of those consoles. I don't need to. I have this. And then each cartridge is a multi-cartridge. That's one thing about retro gaming. Now is the best time now to get back into retro gaming, because you don't need to. You have emulators now. Even for the computers, you have emulators. You don't need to own an original Amiga computer to enjoy the Amiga computer. You have emulation now. You have the Amiga Mini now. They're remaking all these computers now. They have the Commodore 64 Mini, the Amiga 500 Mini. Like, this is the best time to enjoy retro gaming, because you have all these emulators now, all these little Raspberry Pi. That little thing is incredible. That little Raspberry Pi. You can make just you can put every game, almost every console, well, pretty much every console known to mankind, in a Raspberry Pi, and store pretty much every game on a small device. We came a long way. I mean, in the last 30 years, in the last 40 years, we came a long way. We don't need to store things on floppies anymore. Now you can put everything on one SD card. You know, you can put like a 8 gigabyte, say 8 gigabyte SD card. I can't even tell you how many floppies that will be. We're talking about, I don't want to say millions of these floppies. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? We came a long way in 40 years. Even in the last 35 years, we really, storage and all that, we exponentially. And who knows what it's going to be in the next 30 years in terms of like what kind of storage. We already getting to the limits about video. I mean, 4K, we have 8K, right? 8K video. My wife's phone is 8K. My phone is 4K. I could shoot 4K on this phone. 30 frames only, but not 60 frames. 30 frames per second, 4K. 1080, I can shoot 60, but nah. Her phone is up to 8K. It's crazy. Who knows what it's going to be even in the next, I want to say even the next 10 years. It's crazy. Yeah, this guy's, he's not responding, man. Yeah, bro. Not one contact today. What's going on? Yeah, so now I have to get jumper cables for all that. I gotta see if I can hook that up. This is Samsung. Samsung. This was my. It's an older phone. This is older. My wife. She bought a new phone, so I said I'll take this one. I had a Huawei phone, but I was done with that. Hello, Sanjay. Sanjay, you okay? You wanna come up here and say hello to me? Come on, come up here for a minute. See if you're okay. I gotta heat up something for you. Pizza or something. You okay? Okay. All right. My son is on the computer downstairs. Oh, I hear him. I hear footsteps. Come here. You okay?
Yep.
All right. Oh. You want anything to eat? No. All right. Okay. So this is an old one. This is a Samsung A71. Yeah. It's a pretty good phone. This phone now is about $200 now. It's not even that expensive now. It's really, but it's still a good phone. So yeah, of course, Android. It's not iPhone. I know you're a big iPhone. It's not iPhone. I don't really want iPhone anymore. I don't care for iPhones anymore. I mean, iPhones are very nice phones too. It's just that you gotta have an Apple account with it and all that. I'm done with that. I'm done with all that. You know, years ago, years ago, I used to love iTunes. I bought a lot of music on iTunes. Problem with Apple is that if it's not an Apple device, you can't move it over. You know, so it's really ridiculous. They make it like impossible for you to own your music. I know they changed that, and but I was done with that. And then I think Spotify changed a lot of music listening. Before you wanted a song, you had to buy the song or rip it. You have to get the if you had a music CD, you will rip the song, turn it into MP3. But Spotify, I think Spotify changed everything when it comes to listening to music. I just go to Spotify now. Any phone doesn't matter. Spotify, and that's it. I can listen to every song. Every song, most 99% of all songs I want to listen to is on Spotify. So I didn't need to buy music anymore. I mean, it made no sense to buy music. You know, I know you support the artists and all that, but I just didn't buy the music anymore. I have old CDs. I have all this stuff. So let me put this phone to charge. I gotta charge my phone. I'll be right back. Yeah. You know, I mean, they have, they're nice phones and all that. It's just, when you get older and there's some things, I don't know. It's just, I think the main thing is, I don't like the whole Apple thing. They lock everything down. I have Apple. Look, I'm not kidding. Look, I have old Apple stuff. I used to buy a lot of Apple stuff. Okay, I have minis. I have old minis down there. See, Mac minis. I have two of them. You know, I mean, and I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. They don't want you to keep holding on to your old equipment, and they want you to. But that's not, It's just not. It's just you know, I said it a few weeks ago about my phone. I don't really need my phone. I don't do much with my phone anymore. I was, I don't do a lot of stuff with my phone. So I need to set this thing up with the power supply. And that's what I can't do. Sorry about this power supply. This one's filthy. Oh my God. This is filthy. Let me see how many watts is this one. 300. 200? Oh no, I can't use this one. I'm not using this one. Yeah, I'm not using this. This one's going back down. I already got another one that I was cleaning it last night. I'm gonna bring the other one up to do that setup. Jesus Christ, Danny. To do this thing with the power supply. I gotta bring up the other one. So I'm gonna hook it up with a CB radio. Yeah, I verified it that this with a computer's power supply, even if it's unless you're using a server power supply, I wouldn't transmit on it. So when I use this with the CB radio, I'm not gonna be transmitting on it just for listening until eventually I buy a proper power supply, the radio or power supply for radio. So yeah. So I'm gonna bring up the other one. So while you want me to stop talking about Apple. Oh Jesus! You know, one thing you gotta understand. I'm gonna tell you something because you're a kid. You gotta have an open mind. Okay. The sooner you learn that in life, the sooner you're gonna be better off. Not everybody's gonna like you. I'm gonna tell you that. I tell my son all the time. Not everybody's gonna agree with you. Listen to what I'm telling you. You know, you're a young kid. Not everybody's when you say, "Yo, I have an iPhone. Oh, I have an iPhone." You know, that's sweet and dandy for you. I have over 30 years experience with Apple, and I tell you, Apple is not my cup of tea. I'm done with Apple. I'm not a slave to Apple. Okay, that's why I went with Android. Thank God we have competition. You know, there was a time period where they were the only phone that you wanted to buy. You know, and then Android came out, and Android saved especially Samsung. Samsung really caught up. You know, it was iPhone was the greatest thing ever invented. Yeah, it was. It was. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was the greatest thing ever invented. For a while, it was the greatest thing ever invented. Problem is not the phone; it's the company. And now in today's environment now, which you don't understand. You don't understand this whole thing about wokeness. You're a young kid. You don't understand about wokeness. Trust me. I'm not gonna try to explain to you about wokeness. Forget about it. I'm not gonna support woke companies. That's another thing. There's certain things I don't buy no more because the company is too woke. I don't care for Disney. I hate Disney. I never liked the Disney as a kid. I never liked the Disney. My son doesn't like Disney. Thank God. I would never support a company like Disney. And you don't understand that because you're a young kid. You wet behind the ears. You don't understand that. You're not gonna understand all that wokeness. When you get to 40 years old, even in your 20s, you're gonna be a young bug. You're gonna go to college one day. You're gonna be surrounded by what you see now. Some people are just nuts, and you gotta stay away from them. Stay away from them because stay away from them. When I went to college, thank God I wasn't surrounded by people like that. There was a few knuckleheads. I just avoided them. That was it. I already, and plus I was older. I went to college. I was already early 30s, so I already served in the military and all that. So you know, you know, so that's why you don't understand. The same thing when you go to school. You got, and you can deal with bullies and all that. That's that too. And drama. So girl, young. This girl she didn't like me. I laugh about that now. I almost dated this girl. I almost went out with this girl, and now I look back at it. Thank God I never, dated that girl because she turned out to be a nut job. You know what I'm saying? Kids. What happens with kids? Everything is the dramatic. I was the same way when I was little. When I was a kid. Everything was dramatic. Somebody broke it with me. It was a dramatic thing. Oh my God. Now I embrace solitude. It's a different, and then plus a different time now. You got social media. People want to bully you online, all that nonsense. And that's why I don't post on my channel here. I talk about it, but on my social media, I don't post political stuff. I don't repost political stuff. I don't even post, benign stuff, cute stuff, like interesting stuff that doesn't involve, because the biggest thing is politics too. People will hate you for, even though they don't know you personally, they'll hate you for politics alone. We're in a very divided country now. We're very divided. This country is very divided. No, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about. You don't like it, you're gonna leave my channel. That's it. You know, I told you that. You know, just go to go to another channel. I'm serious. My channel, my rules. Don't care. There's no democracy in my channel. There's no democracy in my channel. None. Zero. You know, that's why I made it clear. I made it clear. I'm not babysitting people in here. You know, even my son knows I'm fair. I'm firm, but I'm fair. I tell him all the time. I said, listen, you better listen to everything I say now, because one day I'm gonna tell you, the world out there is not a kind world. There's a lot of cancel culture right now. People cancel you out for any little nonsense. For any little nonsense, you get canceled out now. You know, this channel could be gone tomorrow. For any little reason, this channel could be gone. But I'm at the point in my life where I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if they cancel this channel. I'm at the point now I don't care, because I already achieved what I wanted to achieve here. My goal was my original goal, get 100 subscribers. Check that box. My original goal was to get 2,000. No, nothing happened. We're just talking. Nothing happened. Hello, Autism Radio. I hope you're doing well. Then I checked the other box. 1,000 subscribers. I checked that box. Next goal was to get monetized. I checked that box. And right now, 2,000, whatever. I already achieved everything I wanted to achieve here. Especially for a radio channel like this, a very niche channel. You know, a niche channel like this. I already achieved what I wanted to achieve. You know, if this channel ever goes to 3,000, you know, it can happen in a few months. Fine. But, you know, in terms of monetization, that's it. You know, I'm not rolling in dough in it. So, because there's a lot of competition anyway. You know, there's a lot of good radio channels out there. There's a lot of good channels. Oh, you sick? Yeah, my son is a little sick too. He missed school already 3 days. You know, I had a cold. My wife has a cold too, but she's at work. So yeah, so we all have because the weather, it got really cold at night, and that's the one my son. I had to put on the heat. So yeah. Wow, look, Antenna's doing very well today. Yeah, I hope you feel better too. Yeah. I know it's just that time of the year, you know. We go up to right over here in New York. We went up to the 60s. Right now, 62, but we're supposed to go down to the 40s tonight. And get chilly tonight. In the 40s. Once we get into the 40s, it gets kind of chilly here in this house. Because I got old windows too. That's another thing. I got a lot of old windows. You know, I see some of the old windows. I had to seal them up because I was getting drafts. But yeah. So what's I mean? I was sick today, extremely tired, and I had a headache. But now just a headache. Okay. Yeah, I know that sucks. Yeah. So this is going downstairs. Let me see what else I can do today. plug. All right, there we go. Oh, good, I found it. I found the plug for the Grundig 750. I try to label all my plugs. Because, you know, when you have all these plugs, you have to label them. All these radios, you got to label them. So I got to label it, so I just label them. So this is for the Grundig. Because I just set this up over here. So let me... Actually, I'm going to lift up the table. Let me raise the table up. You put it right. Let me stop it. I'm going to stop it in between. So it's not all the way up the way I want it, but it's enough. Let me lower it just a little bit. Right there. That's good. You can see all these. So now I got to put this one over here. So let me see. Let me get these stickers out the way. So this is the Grundig. So the plug is over here on this side. Okay, the plug is over here. All right. So you got your external antenna switch. Your line out. Okay, you got your line out. So you got your, okay. It's been a while since I used this radio. Okay. So this radio, if for those of you that don't know the connectors for this radio, it's pretty cool. When I first got this radio, I would just use the wire. The wire. So this is when you run a long wire. I used to run when I first had this radio. When I first got it, I used to run this long wire into the red, and then this one is for the ground. You run a separate one for that, and it was pretty good, just with the wire. And then of course, once I got the CB whip antenna, that was my next antenna. Then you connect it with the BNC. You need an adapter though. And you got to have the switch, internal, external, okay? So, and then for medium wave, let me try to get in there. For medium wave, you rotate this antenna. You can rotate it, right? You can rotate it. Or there's a jack right there, 3.5 millimeter. The lighting is not the best in here, I'm sorry. 3.5 millimeter jack. If you want to use an external antenna for medium wave with this radio. Okay. So now I'm going to hook that one up. I need to get an outlet for that one. Okay. So I need to find a... Let me see how long this thing is. Can I hit the floor? Let me see. Okay, can reach the floor. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just fixing this up now. What? Let me see. I'm sorry. Let me read. Autism Radio said, what radio station do you like? I don't listen to FM much because I just said it earlier. When I listen to music, I go to Spotify. When I want to listen to music, I just open Spotify on my computer or on my phone and use that. So I don't really listen to FM much. When I'm outside working, sometimes I'll put it. There's an FM station I'll put it on. It's local. It's a low power college station. It's called WBGO. He's on 88.5. I forgot it. I think it's 88.5. It's a low power station. They play a lot of jazz. Of course, that's not your type of music. Jazz is like, it's old people music. Is it 88.5 or 88 point? Is it 88.3? I don't know. I have to search it. Let me see. It might be 88.3. Let me see. Let me just search it real quick. Okay, 88.3. Okay. Yeah, it's all the way down there, the bottom of the dial. Yeah, 88.3. Thank you. Yeah, so it's all the way at the bottom of the dial. Not all my radios can get it. Only the better ones. The better ones can pick it up. Yeah, 88.3. I have to have the 10.9. I have to rotate the antenna. So they play jazz. Yeah, I'm looking at the information. Oh, so it's from Newark. Okay, yeah, it's out of Newark. It's Newark Public Radio. Yeah, Jazz 88. WBGO. So I listen to that when I'm out there working in the yard. I'm just stretching out this cable. I don't like when it's all curly up like this. I'm trying to fix up this cable, so this is gonna be my permanent setup for this one. I'm gonna have it. Originally, I was gonna bring this one over here, but it's an older one, so I already have a couple older ones. So I'm gonna have this one here. So I got the two Grundigs. I figure it's been it needs some love now. It's been a while since I used this one. So I want to go back to my original radio. So I'm just straightening out this cable. So yeah, WBGO. Yeah, WBGO. Let me go back up here. I forget it's all the way down there. Try again. So WBGO, and that's it. And everything else is on AM. AM I listen to a lot more. I listen to AM all the time. I just had AM radio here.
27. ParksCasino.com must be 21. Gambling problem? 21 again. Responders, smart home, homeless vets programs. The problem is, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith had a very good idea for their issue. Because they had two kids in their bed. Now we don't have two.
AM radio. I listen to more AM radio. That's what I listen to a lot. Every day. Of course, I listen to shortwave. Especially at night, I listen to some. But my thing is AM. My AM medium wave radio listener. And that's I'm transmitting on 10 meters. That's F8. With this transceiver. You see it's transmitting? I can't zoom in there. Let me see. The zoom is horrible when it comes to this one. Problem is I'm shaking too much. Anyway, it's hard. It's always hard to focus. I'm transmitting 20 watts. It's 20 watts. FTA is a shortwave. It's a digital mode. Of course, you can listen to. You can with your shortwave radio. You can have this set up on your computer. You can just listen to it and pick up signals. Right now I'm on 10 meters, so the frequency is 28.074. But they have it on 20 meters. On every band has FTA. This is and it'll sound like that. A couple of years ago or so, when I first heard it, I was like, "What is that noise?" And then Jules was the one that explained to it that it's called FTA. And Of course, to transmit, you need a license. You need for this band. That's the only band I can transmit on right now, 10 meters, because I have a technician license. I'm level 1. You want to call it level 1. When I get my general, I can transmit on 20 meters on lower bands. Right now, I can only do 10 meters. And because the reason why I like doing FTA, because I don't want to be talking on single sideband all the time. I just don't, because then I got to be talking and listening a lot, and my hearing is not the best hearing. My attention span is not the best anymore. So, if somebody tells me the call sign, I'll forget it like in 2 seconds. But my memory is not the my memory comes and goes. I need to start taking more supplements for my brain health. I'm hoping. I mean, in my family, we don't have that. I never had that. We don't have that history. But I tend to forget things sometimes. Sometimes I put my keys there, and they can be somewhere, and I forget about it. I'm looking all over the house for my keys, and I usually that's been happening to me lately the last few years. I'm hoping it's not early onset of something like dementia or Alzheimer's or something. I don't think it is. So far, so good. But still, so talking and all that. I have to, I will. Eventually I will. That's why I'm setting all this up now, because eventually I want to do voice. But right now I enjoy FTA because as much as I like talking here to you guys, I just don't want to be on the air. It's not for me. Not for me anymore. It's just not for me. I could see myself learning CW, learning Morse code, and do that. I know, believe it or not, I'm still an introverted person. Of course, I'm less shy now than I was when I was young. When I was young, I was a lot more shy, of course. So that's the other thing. That's why I never got into this when I was young, because I was never, even years ago, my friends were into CB radio. I used to enjoy listening to it with them, but I never wanted to be. I never was a talker, and that was just me. So the fact that I'm doing live stream now, it's already been over a year since I started doing live streaming. And I did a live stream a few years ago, but I'm just trying to fix this wire. I want to straighten it. I'm trying to straighten it as much as I can. I have it plugged into my Grundig, and then I got to find a plug for it. I already used up all of these. I have another outlet I'm going to replace that one with. I have it downstairs. I need to replace it. So right now, I'll put it right there. And I can plug it in. Okay. There you go. Okay. Actually, I could temporarily plug it over here. Let me see if I have a spot right here. There you go. I just got it to that outlet for now. Let me see. I'll just put on AM because I don't have no antenna set up today. So I'll just put on AM. Let me see. It's been a while. Oh, hello. Gotta turn it on. Let me lower the volume first.
Doing the show with Craig. And they're exploiting things like the family separation rule. They come in, they know the Biden administration says we can't separate families, So a terrorist will come in with an adolescent, claim it's a child.
Oh, it sounds scratchy. Wow.
Years is totally possible because we know that people have come from Syria, Iran, and China. All these other countries have come across that border. And in North Dakota, we had an incident where we lost a policeman, but our brave police in North Dakota were successful in taking out someone who had 1,200 rounds of ammunition in their car, heading to had searched on their laptop computer mass killings and large gatherings in the last 24 hours before they were taken out.
And what country? What country were they from?
Syria.
Wow.
He walked over to either the Canadian border to you or the Mexican border. We'll see.
Every time, almost. Every time I plan a day off. And Linda, at one point, used to get mad. She doesn't get mad anymore.
I expected. I planned any day off.
I have to narrow the bandwidth. Yeah, I got spray contact cleaner. Yeah, I got to spray contact cleaner on that. It's scratchy. Wow, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I used this radio. I think the last time I turned on this radio was like 2 years ago. Wow. It's scratchy. Of course, the problem with this radio is the bandwidth. You see? It's on medium wave. I have it at 740. If I put wide, it only has 2 bandwidth settings. It has wide and narrow. This one has 3 bandwidth settings. And that's the big knock about this radio. Is I wish they would have had more bandwidth settings on this one. If I put wide, it's obliterated. It's too wide. Narrow. So yeah. Let me leave it on.
Iranian attack on Israel using Hamas as its surrogate. And this could get bigger because I think Iran doesn't fear the consequences from the United States. They probably fear the consequences from Israel more. And I think we could be about to see some.
Yeah. Oh, let me drink this one. I'll leave this one for. Yeah, it's good. Subscribe to each other. There you go. Help each other out. Brazil. Well, I don't have no confirmed Brazil. Let me see. Autism Radio. I listen to mostly FM, all station, but I don't listen to AM much. Yeah. Yeah, usually AM is for older people like me. We listen. I've been listening to AM since I was a young kid. My brother's boombox. Then I think my first radio was something like this, just an AM radio. When I was living in Puerto Rico, I wasn't very good in Spanish. I was very limited in Spanish language. I wanted to listen to AM. My mother moved me from New York back to Puerto Rico. I hated it. I was miserable. I was like, man, I miss New York, and I miss. And then I wanted to listen to English radio, and AM was the refuge. Because FM is, I used to listen to FM too when I was a kid. But AM at night was DXing. So I would listen to not the Puerto Rican radio stations. There were a couple of them. There was one that was English speaking in Puerto Rico's radio station. That one I used to listen to a lot. But at night I would listen to like stations from the Virgin Islands. I know from the Virgin Islands. Of course, I would listen to. I would pick up like Florida stations in Florida. You know, not that many, but there was a few that I would pick up, and I would listen to. You know, and also I think also when you used to watch sports on in Puerto Rico, like for example, I'm a big Yankee fan. I used to watch when the Yankees won the World Series in 1970, 77 and 78. On TV, it was in Spanish, but they would tell you if you put it on this station, you could listen to it in English. So I would put the radio on that station so I could listen to the play-by-play in English because I didn't want to listen. I didn't want to. So I would lower the volume on the TV because I didn't want to listen to the Spanish broadcasting. Excuse me. And I would have my radio on so I could listen to the play-by-play in English. That was a big deal. Otherwise, because like I said, my Spanish wasn't that good back then. I was, because I grew up watching the Yankees and listening to the Yankees on the radio and all that. So I wanted to hear, those guys, play-by-play guys. I didn't want to listen to somebody talking in Spanish about it. I didn't know what the hell was. I was homesick, You gotta remember, I was like 9. No, I was 10, around 10 years old. You uprooted from my friends outside. I had my best friend and all that. All of a sudden, I'm living in Puerto Rico and I don't know anybody, and I don't even know the language that good. And I went to a new school. I didn't have any friends. It was hard. So it was because of radio that kept me, from going crazy. I don't know. Radio did help me out. It was my refuge. Radio is like the only medium that you could listen to the radio, even though you've never been to a place like that. Radio allows you to use your imagination. When you're watching television, you're watching the event. Yeah, it's nice to watch the event, but radio lets you use your imagination. I guess that side of the brain. I don't know. I'm not an expert in the brain function and all that, but you actually, as you're listening to whatever's going on, like, and I listen to games, football game, baseball game, in your mind, you're painting like you're imagining you're painting like the canvas. You're painting like as they describe it, because they do describe it, and you're in your mind, you're imagining, so you're actually using your imagination. There's something subliminal about that too. Like, for example, another thing is I listen to a lot of talk radio, a lot of I used to listen to Coast to Coast a lot. All this talk radio stuff. And a lot of it you want to listen to when you're laying down. When you want to go to sleep, you put on the radio, you have it low, and you listen to all this stuff. And they say that too, that when you're in a relaxed state, I'm getting into the whole subliminal thing here. I believe that when you're in a relaxed state and you listen to anything, you'll learn. You'll learn a lot more. You're in a relaxed state, you'll actually learn more. That's how I got into audio tapes and all that. Listening to I don't have it here. I have all that. I have Tony Robbins and all that. I started listening to stuff like that. Tony Robbins stuff. I have a lot of audio courses I listen to. This is before audiobooks, because now audiobooks are popular now. I listened to that stuff before it was even popular, like audio courses, especially investing. When it comes to investing money, learning about the stock market, I used to listen to a lot of tapes. So when you're laying down and you're relaxed and you're listening to all these stuff that you will find boring, watching it on TV, I was listening to it, and that's how I learned. I learned a lot about, I learned a lot about stocks, a lot about investing, a lot about history. I learned so many things by listening to audio. Listening to audio, and you're in a relaxed state. You're laying down and you're listening to this audio stuff. You absorb it more than watching it on TV. You know, and that's what I did. I started learning outside. When I would go outside, like when I was growing up in my neighborhood, and I would tell people, "Hey, you know what? Did you know? Did you saw what happened in? Did you hear what happened in Chernobyl?" They were like, "Well, what the hell is Chernobyl?" Growing up with my neighborhood guys, neighborhood kids, they couldn't find Chernobyl on a map. The nuclear reactor. They didn't know what hell. They didn't know what Kiev. Well, now it's called Kiev. Back then it was Kiev, Ukraine. And I'll tell people like, did you hear about what happened in Chernobyl? Did you hear about the chemical the battery Bhopal, India? Did you hear about what happened to those people in India? People would look at me like, where you get this information from? And I would tell them I'm listening to the radio. And they would look at me like I was strange. Like, okay, you follow too much. You're like 15, 16 years old, and you're telling us about Chernobyl and all this stuff. I'm like, where you get your information from? They would look at me like I was weird. But I would tell them, no, I'm listening to the radio, and I heard what happened in Russia, in Ukraine. And they would look at me like I was out of this world. Like, and I didn't look down. I didn't look down upon them. I don't judge people that I didn't judge. But I would feel sometimes I would feel like, man, you guys are not informed about anything. Like, not that I felt sorry for them, or I was just weird that I would like, okay, I have my clock radio, and they're in the basement. I have a couple of them. I need to bring them up here. I'm gonna populate one. I have a couple of them I'm gonna bring up. And I'm listening to whatever news, well, this happened in Chernobyl and this and that. And I'm like, and I tell people, and they were like, where are you getting your information? What are you, like ABC News or something? I'm like, no, I listened to it on the radio. I heard it on this station, and I heard it on this station, and it's very and they thought I was weird. But I was like, no, it's just something I guess my introvert in me and all that, and radio listening. I always find it fascinating. There's so much information that I was like listening to. And then in sports too. In sports, when we had I used to listen to sports radio stations, and I would listen to a lot of sports stuff. And when we go outside and argue with my friends about sports, about statistics, they would look at me like, okay, where the hell are you getting your information from? I'm like, I listened to this sports radio show at this time. And then, of course, WFAN came out a few years later. And that was 24 hours a day of sports. And I would listen to that too. And they were like, you're like a sports encyclopedia. And I'm like, no, I'm relaxing and I'm listening to sports radio, talk radio and sports. And they thought I was like, and of course, I also have books because it got me into reading specific topics about, like when I'm listening about stock investing, I actually bought a book on it. I said it compelled me to go buy a book and start reading about it. So when I was not listening to it, I will actually be reading about it, especially on the subway, on the train, when I'm going to school or whatever, or going to work or something. I will always be having. I will. That's one thing I always made it clear that when I'm on the subway, I will always try to read a book. I try to manage my time. If it's a 2-hour commute, you better believe I was going to be reading at least an hour and something on a book. I made use of my time. Not just sit there and stare at people and look at advertisings. I was reading. I had my headphones on. I was listening to audio stuff too. It was you had to. That's the way I used to manage my time. I didn't want to wait. I had obsession about time too. My wife tells me that to this day that I'm obsessed with time. I told her, yeah, I'm obsessed with time because you know what? You got to make every minute count. You don't know when your time is up. So
The death of 110,000 plus illegals who have come to New York. Do we know who they are, what their background is?
yeah, it's still scratchy. I'm gonna have to contact cleaner this one and this one. So now I have this to do. I have to I have it in the basement. I have a contact cleaner, not the Oxid brand. I don't know. That one is too expensive. That brand, the Oxid. I have one. I forgot what brand it is. It's some off the shelf brand. You just spray a little bit on it. You could take out the knob, pull it out. On some of them, you could pull out the knob. I think this one has yeah. And just spray a little bit, and then go, and that should get rid of the scratchiness. You don't have to open up the radio for that. It dries up very quickly. So even if you spray a little bit, you accidentally put a little too much. It's like it's not alcohol or something. It's like an alcohol-based type thing. You spray it when it's scratchy like this.
Who have come here?
So our public safety.
Well, this one's not that scratchy. This one is very scratchy.
Absolutely.
This one is scratchy.
No, it's in the
See that scratchiness?
I've been thinking to myself,
When it's scratchy like that, that's something I hate about the annoying is the pop. Every time you turn off the power, you get that pop. That's annoying. I hate that. But the scratchiness, you just spray some of the Oxid. Even if you make a little mess, it's okay. You know, just it has a long. I have to bring it up here. Give me a minute. I'm gonna bring it up here so I can show you guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna bring it up anyway. I have to bring it up anyway. So let me just go downstairs and I'll bring it up. And I don't want to show. I'm not gonna do it now. All right. I got it right here. So let me move this chair out the way. So I have this one. Let me do a thumbnail with it. Okay. This is a CRC contact cleaner, okay? This is the Oxid brand. But the Oxid brand is way overpriced. This is pretty good. So you don't have to get the deoxit brand. As long as it's contact cleaner. Of course, make sure it's plastic safe. Okay, let me put it right there. I'm not leaving. Quick drying formula. Leaves no residue. Plastic safe. Because I don't know, there is some out there that may not be good for plastic. So this dries very quickly. What they use on this? I don't know if it's butane. Let me see what they. It is flammable though, so you know, do not. Okay. So don't light something up and because that'll be. I think it's butane, something like butane. I forgot what they look for the. Okay, I can't pronounce it. It's not butane. It's some kind of it's in the family of anyway. It is flammable though. So do not and I'm just saying, just keep that in mind that this is flammable. And I put this in no heat source or anything like that. Anyway, you take this and I'm gonna spray a little bit. Let me spray it in there. Just let it and then turn it a few times. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take out the knob. Normally I don't have to, but if I have to, I'll just pull out the knob and then hit it. Let me just do this one too. Just a little. Sometimes it'll make a mess. It dries up pretty quick. Let me show you. You can actually smell it a little bit. Let me see. See, it's already drying up. It dries up pretty fast. You can see it if it's still. It already dried up. It dries up pretty fast. It dries up really, really fast. It's like just turn it.
Thursday, mostly sunny.
It penetrates through there and it gets inside the pot. What they call it? Inside these knobs is a potentiometer. They get scratchy. In this case, I don't have to pull out the button, or in some cases, you might have to open up the radio. You can already hear it. You don't hear the scratchiness. Okay, already penetrated in there. Just work it a few times. Let me try this one now.
Water and high efficiency home heating.
Yeah, this one I'm gonna have to work it up. I'll turn off the radio. Let me just turn the knob a few times around. It feel like it's working in there. If I have to do it.
Kelly Blue Book is the one-stop shop.
Not as bad now.
Selling and instant cash offer.
See?
Cash offer is exactly what
it's a little bit, but
an official offer to buy or trade your car. Just need your VIN or license plate. Answer a few questions about your.
I'll wait a little while. Maybe I hit it again, or maybe I just pull out the button. See if I can pull it out. Yeah, I can pull this one out. This one I can pull out, so I can just hit it in there. I'll show you. Yes, and most of these you can pull out the button, but you gotta be careful when you put it back. Make sure he's lined up. It's like the letter D. Let me show you. You see how it looks like the letter D? Make sure you line this up with the button the way it okay? It only fits in that way. So now in this case, this one's being a little stubborn. I'll just spray it right in there. There you go. Saw that? If you didn't see that, I'm sorry. It dries up pretty quickly. Just let it sit in there. Just let it sit in there. I could work this. knob around like that. We just work it, just turn it around there. You know, this one is very. This one is very. This is like the second time I had to do this for this radio since I bought it a few years ago. These tend to get more scratchy. This one is not that bad for this radio for the number of years that I own this one. But this one definitely is a lot more scratchier. Okay, so that's how you do that. You just spray it. It dries up pretty quickly. So if it makes a little mess, don't worry about it. Just let it. If there's any excess, just wipe it off. But it's already dried up. It's dried up already. It dries up, but it works in there, and you just work it in there. So let me.
5 times entry multipliers. Jake, 58 Casino Hotel, where Long Island.
You hear the difference? The scratchiness is gone. Just like that, it's gone. So now I got to put the knob back. So you just heard it. The scratchiness is gone. So let me line this up. Let me turn off the power. I'm going to line it up like that. I want to line it up so I can put the knob. There you go. Okay, so now the knob is back. I show you. Learning something here, people. Especially you young bucks. So you see the volume knob is back. Okay, just turn it a few times. We'll turn on the power and let's turn on the volume. I'm trying to line up the camera with the. Oh my God, it's hard to do both. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to line it up like that. I'm trying to see the screen.
Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. There's no waiting required because Good Feet products are immediately available and proudly made in the USA.
So the scratchiness is gone.
Finding great candidates
Just like that.
can be like, well,
Use this guy.
needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. It's powerful technology, actively fun, and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job.
You hear that? It's gone. You could. I mean, little.
See why 4 out of 5 employees.
It's gone.
Job on ZipRecruiter get a quality.
So now there's no more scratchy knob for now. That's gonna last for a couple of years or so, whatever. You gotta hit just a little bit, not a lot. Just a little, let it work it. You have to hit it again. That's it. A can like this will last you. When I had this can for a few 3 years now. You know, I'm gonna have to do it on this radio too. I know this one has scratchiness. I think it's old, older radios that or if you don't use a radio for a while, sometimes that happens. This radio is not that old. Well, it is old now. It's as old as my channel. So yeah, 7 years. But yeah, I have to hit a little bit. That's it. So you're good now. See. I'm gonna put it out here somewhere in the shack. I'll leave it right here. I put that on. I usually have that in my boiler room for the tools. Anyway, so that's that. So there you go.
25 to 30 on the upper, better the lower. There's new. Lincoln's about 20 to 30 in, 20 to 30.
The bass and the treble, I leave it the way it is, so I don't really. But if I use something else online and scratchy, the same thing. Usually the volume, the one that you always.
Out of lower Manhattan at the Holland.
Sometimes you might have to hit the switches if you're getting that pop. Sometimes, but 99% is gonna be the volume. Is the one that is gonna hear the scratchiness the most. The other one's not so much. If I turn on the, let me see. Oh, nothing here. Anyway, it's not even connected right now. If I turn on. Okay. But these are not hooked up with antennas right now. I have a switch to this one. But then, I don't get scratching. It was just, this one was really bad. The scratching, as you can hear.
Took a cell phone camera away from a guy that was standing on the.
Big difference now without the scratchiness, right? Like a brand new radio now. Oh, that I'm transmitting is interfering with that. Right now I'm transmitting on 10 meters. So every time I transmit, it's going to interfere with the 25 megahertz WWE. Okay? And I'm transmitting. Anyway, that's 25 megahertz. Yeah, so you see now scratchiness is pretty much gone. Let me go down here. Let me read. Okay, mouse. Find the mouse over here. Autism Radio. Radio ID scan says he's back. Autism Radio and radio is cheap, but doesn't include bills like you can buy. Doesn't include bills like you can buy cheap radio and you can listen to radio. Yeah. Autism Radio, then TV does not include bills, but radio is cheap. You can get information just like. Yeah, I mean, you don't in terms of cable. I mean cable. Yeah, exactly. Radio is very it's free information. Of course, you got over-the-air TV. You could watch, the news too. But that's why I like shortwave radio too. And I do listen to streaming radio. I listen to like this morning. I was listening to I'm gonna have it up here soon. I'm gonna have my 55-inch Roku over here, and that one has Roku apps. And there's an app called My Tuner. I have it on my phone actually. I'm charging my phone right now in the other room. It's called My Tuner, and that one has radio stations from all over the world. So I was listening to a couple of radio stations, streaming, just for a few minutes here and there, listening to, just to get a different point of view of the news from other countries. Because unfortunately, over here, even a lot of the media, especially on television, it's all the way to the other side. It's the left. You get a lot of, it's not the truth sometimes. I shouldn't say sometimes. Most of the time, it's like this thing that happened with the hospital in the rocket bombing or attack that happened to the hospital in Gaza. Of course, they already want to blame Israel for it. The whole and the American media right away. We already know who did it. But it's unfortunate. But that's the problem. They want to already. It's just that today's world is a lot different than what it was. Even World War II. I wasn't alive at World War II, but it's a whole different thing now. World War II, when the enemy attacked you, and when you went to war with the enemy, it was like, of course, there was always some rules of engagement. Now it's like everything's scrutinized now. They're already crying ceasefire. Ceasefire. No. You went and attack Israel. Israel is retaliating, and now you call it ceasefire. You see what I'm saying? It's like, and then the thing is that the media and everybody starts backing them up. That's why I tune out on that. I have to listen to the other side. That's why I love shortwave radio. I love internet. I listen to international stations because this media here, it's horrible. It's horrible. They just want to paint oh my God, these poor people in this hospital and all that. Meanwhile, these are the same people that were, remember what happened on October the 7th, when they were dragging that girl in the streets of Gaza, and there was people, what they were doing, spitting on her. Right? Remember that? They were all cheering and spitting on her, right? Now, they're getting payback. Right? Now, all of a sudden, they're the poor people. No, these are the same people that were spitting on the dead Israeli people. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's just, that's why I tune out on all that stuff. I just can't. It's just, you get here we go. I'm going to put the, I don't know, the world's smallest violin. Here we go. I'm playing you the world's smallest violin. There's an acronym called FAFO, right? We go look it up, FAFO. And that's what happened. They swatted a hornet's nest. And when you swat a hornet's nest, what do you think is going to happen? Hornets are going to get angry and they're going to come at you. And they're going to come at you hard. And that's what they did. Playing the violin music now. Yeah, you get all the people, oh, please stop bombing me. Whatever. I'm an eye for an eye. I'm sorry, an eye for an eye. Bobby says, be right back. If not, 73. Yeah. Okay. Man, today's one of those days. Nobody. And 10 meters just got better. And nobody, not one. That's the way it is sometimes. Hello, Mindsway. What's going on? No, I'm okay. Nothing's going on. I'll just put this thing up here today. I just said, let me do a live stream for a couple of hours. Just put this radio here. Now I need to hook up. So now I'm trying to get an idea here. Let me see. So I'm thinking MLA 30. I'll put the MLA 30. Actually, I just better off hooking another MLA 30, right? I don't know. What can I do here? MLA 30. Interesting. MLA 30. I want to hook up the MLA 30 to this one. I have this one hooked to the MLA 30. So I have this switch. I'm thinking. Let me see if I have that wire. I'm going to put the camera down here for a minute. I'm going to sit over here. I got to look through all my wires. Let me lower this down. Lower it a little bit. I have to go through my wires. So I need let's see, to receive, I need a SMA 2. SMA 2. SMA 2. PO2. for this switch. SMA to MLA 30, SMA to PL 239. I think I have one in the box. I have an adapter. I'm looking to see if I have one here. I mean, I have SMA. SMA, but that's I need man. I need. Oh, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I said man, like bro. Okay. Take it easy. So I need an SMA. This is SMA male. So I need an SMA female to PL2. I think I have one in the box. Let me go check. Hello, James Farley. Well, you didn't miss much, but we were just showing. I was just showing anyway. I just popped on here it's been on now. I've been on for 2 hours. So 2 hours and 1 minute in the books. 8 people watching, 11 likes. Thank you for the likes. Subscribe to my channel, please. Share this video. Share this screen. Share. Let me check in here. And also, let me pin something on the. I forgot to do that earlier. Let me just do something here for a second. Let me do something. Sorry, I want to pin something on my chat. I'm gonna go here. On my social media, follow me there. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And then I'm gonna pin that. Oh my God, let me do it again because that thing is in the way. That heart thing is in the way, bro. Oh my God, with the heart thingy. Pin message. There you go. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. All my social media is right there. All my links.com/Dan1. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You name it is there. I have like almost 70 different links in there. I have other channels there. You can subscribe to my other channels. PayPal is there if you wanna. You can send me crypto, Ethereum crypto if you have crypto. Boom. Everything is there. Anything you want to follow me on is there on the pin message. Anyway, so this is my organizer box. I have one of these. I have all these connectors in here, all these different adapters and all that. So I'm going to check in here. So I need a... Let me see. Let me flip this open here. So I'm trying to set up a switch from my MLA 30 to my 2 Grundigs. I want to switch between those two. I want to share the I can share the MFJ loop. But I want to use the MFJ loop because it's all the way down here. I want to use it for the SDR. So let me see if I have one. And it looks like I don't have one. Damn, I don't have one. Wow, I don't have that. That's amazing. I don't have one. I'm gonna have to order one then. But actually, before that, I don't even know if I want to do. Wait a minute. I mean, I can hook it up directly to the radio with no. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me see. Wow. Yeah, I don't have it here. I have another case that has more in them in the bag. Yeah, I might have used it up already. I think I used it up for another. I have this one. But it's not long. That's another thing. It's not long enough. Yeah. I have a better idea. Instead of using a switch, I could just connect it right here real quick. But I don't want to do that. I want to switch. I want to have a switch. I have this extra switch right now. I have an option. I could use this either for my... I'm thinking about using the MFJ for this one. SDR. Okay, let me see if that'll work. Actually, I may do that instead. Use the MFJ with a Grundig. And there's another video that I wanted to, I think, which one? NFED is, right now the NFED is 1. The Kenwood R2000 NFED and the 2 transceivers now. So I now hooked up my Yaesu transceiver. I'm going to start using that. So I got 1, 2, 3. So I'm thinking about using the MFJ for these 3. 1, 2, 3, and the SDR. I think that makes better sense. So now what I need for the MFJ. So I need to order them. So I need to order. I'm going to order. Yeah, I'm going to have to order. I need one that goes to. So I need one from the MFJ to here. That's one. That's one. What do you call it? Jumper cable. I ran out of the jumper cable. I used them all up already. So I need one jumper cable for that. Okay. And then I need one that's gonna go from here to the grande. Let's see. Let me measure. Okay, so I could get a 6-footer, 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 6-footer. So that's 2. And then a third one. Okay, wait a minute. Excuse me, bro. Where's the one for this one? The one is hooked up. So the Kenwood is not hooked up. I think it's the Kenwood that's not hooked up, right? Oh, God. Now I have to see which one is which. Yeah, so you didn't miss. Well, I mean, you didn't miss something, but you always miss something. You know what? Okay, let me check. So let me see. The Kenwood. So the Kenwood is not hooked up then. So there's the Kenwood that's not hooked up. Right here. Okay, so the Kenwood is hooked up, but where's the wire going to? Okay, so the Kenwood is not hooked up. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this one with the NFED. So now the Kenwood, okay. This is the Kenwood. I'm gonna leave it right here. Let me put it like in a spot where I can see it. I'll just leave it dangling right here. So I need one pigtail from the. I could temporarily. I have a cable that I could use temporarily. I have a 25 feet of. Because this one uses BNC. So I can use that. Just roll it up here now. I can just adapt it. But I still need one pigtail from the MFJ 1886 loop to the switch. So I have to order. So I'm gonna just as extra measure. I'm gonna order 2 of them. So there you go. Okay, so I got that. So I got that. Yeah, I was just showing that earlier. You're gonna see it on the replay, you know. Let me go down to. Whoop. What the hell? Oh, shoot. Went too low. Sorry. I went too low. Too low there. How low can you go? Let me put this right here. Let me just put it right here. Yeah. James Farley, I see. Yeah, I used it for. I'll show you. Yeah, because I used this for. I was showing the couple of them earlier. I put some on the Grundig 800 because that thing was scratchy, and of course this one too was a little scratchy on the 750. But now. No more scratchiness. It's all gone. So this one I sprayed it, but then I wanted to take it out the knob, pull out the knob. So when you watch the replay, you'll see. I pulled out the knob, I sprayed it inside the pot, put it back, got rid of scratching. And then this one is fine too.
Funding. Jewish Voice for Peace. How many? None. Zero. Not on any cable program. Not on any network TV program. Not one.
Okay, so.
How many explain their funding? And
They are.
So no more scratchiness on either one. Yeah, I built this. I built this a couple of days ago. Give me just stand it up. I don't want to be sitting down. Actually. I already done looking on the. Yeah. So yeah, I built this. This was the scrap that I have from the basement, the shelving. So I cut it. I sanded. I have an orbital sander. Yeah, I listened to Mark Levin. So I sanded. The legs, I had whatever. I did what I can with the legs. You know. Then I don't have a table saw. But it works fine. It's steady. I make sure I put a brace here, Of course, screw, a bunch of screws. I sanded with an orbital sander. And then I stained it. I stained it last night. I mean, not last night, yesterday. I gave it like 4 coats. So I think it looks fine. I think it looks good. Yeah, so that I wanted to do that because I wanted to put like radios up here. I was thinking about putting this one down here, but it's not gonna work. It's gonna be too. So now I have my scanner right here. And then of course I got my 2 tabletop HF right there. And then I can use this one here. Because I wanted to use it. I was thinking about putting this one here, but I already have 2 older radios here. So I said, you know what? Let me give the Grundig some love. Because I haven't used that radio for a long time. So now I got to figure out what antenna I want to hook this up with. And of course, I got my stickers ready. I got to put stickers on this and all that. Yeah, remember like the one in the basement, I had the New Yorks. I took them out. I might put them here. Or I might just use new stickers. You know, I gotta put some stickers on there. So yeah, it's a lot better now. Now see, I'm not wasting space. Remember I told you I had a wasted space? So now I incorporated more radios. I could literally put this one down here and put another radio in here. But right now I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Maybe the speaker, I'm gonna put it right here. Bring that speaker. Right now it's anchored up here because I got room for another one. I'm gonna take this speaker. I'm gonna put it right under here. Put it right here. So that's the next step. I got to take that speaker down, put it there. And also, I need room for the power supply. I'm going to move this over. It's going to be on top of it. The power supply for this one. So I got room for the power supply. I'm going to use a computer power supply for it right now until I buy the other one, and then I'll bring this one back and put it back up here. But right now I'm using this one for my Yaesu. So I'm going to do that. But I'm going to make a video on that first before I hook it up. So yeah. I built that. I'm not the best carpenter. Trust me, I'm not the best. I am not the best carpenter. I mean, and this is like, this board is not exactly. It's kind of a little warped. I did I recycled it. I mean, this is recycled. So this radio came from a boiler factory. I mean, all this wood came from a boiler factory. It was really dark, and I don't have a piece here. I can show you. It was really nasty. It even had mold. It started getting mold. I took it outside. I sanded that sucker down. I wore a mask, everything. I spent like an hour sanding this thing down. An hour. I sand all this down with orbital sander. And he brought it back to life. Then I put the legs in, everything. I cut the best I can. I put little caps on them, like foot caps. Put a screw in there with a rubber little grommet. It's strong. This is going to be strong. I made this to hold this one up, but I realized, I was like, it's really going to fit in there, but it's going to be tight. I said, let me put this one here. So it worked out. So I'm maximizing the space. That's what I wanted to do. I want to maximize the space that I have here. It's like here. Just like I did down there, maximize the space. Put the transceiver down there, and then I have the other one down there. I have the power supply, and I have the other one down there. You gotta maximize the space. So, but it came out pretty good. It's pretty good, not bad. It looks pretty good. Now, orbital sander is very nice. Orbital sander, I gotta say. And trust me, I'm by far not a good carpenter. I'm not a good carpenter at all. I just took my time and measured the cut. And it'd be better it would have been better if I had like a table saw and I could have done more precise cuts. Some of it was not. Oh man, I was breaking my head over it. But I got it. I got it hooked up. I got it. It took a while. Just like when I did the pass-through. Remember how bad, nasty that wood was? I had an orbital sander. I cleaned it. Sanded it really nicely. I stained it. That's one thing about this. This polyurethane staining. This is the water-based type. It's not even oil-based. So this is a stain and also polyurethane coating. So right now it's nice and dry. Now you can wipe this thing down with a, soap. We can wipe it down when it gets dirty. Polyurethane coating from, I think it's Bristolian makes it. I love this stain. So yeah. Yeah, thank you, James Farley. Yeah. I think it looks okay. I think it looks good. I could have done better, especially the feet. But I was working with what I had, I didn't have like a, originally I was going to use a solid piece here and a solid piece here, but the problem is cutting it with the with a circular saw is very hard to do that, especially when you don't have a workbench. I did with what I had. So Yes, I like Mark Levin, Mr. Producer. Cut 4, go. Yeah.
Italian communist, an icon among modern-day Marxists, even among terrorists. He advised communist activists to gradually infiltrate democratic institutions as the mean to establishing a Marxist revolution of society. The Hamas terror network has embraced this, as I explained the other night.
Yeah, so see, I have a few.
Don't reveal yourselves as you
I keep
actually
stuff
are,
in here.
and go on the offense. And anybody who challenges you,
Oh, there goes those
attack,
things. Look at that. I found them.
character assassinate. Use a Linsky tactic.
I found them.
They're racist. They're anti-Muslim.
So now I can mount this one.
God knows.
Oh, I'm thinking, because I was thinking about mounting this one. Oh, I was looking for it. I found it.
I think this book, The Democrat Party Hates America, is the
I just noticed it now.
resource.
Let me put this over here.
Not just before what's happened, not just down the road, but at this very moment in history. We have now thousands.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about mounting. Like I said, remember I said maximizing space. So I was thinking about mounting this one
to ensure the spread of the Marxist ideology, the Democrat
over here.
And by the way, the
on this
Marxist
spot.
ideology and the Hamas terrorist ideology clearly overlap.
So take that radio and mount it over here.
The DEI become a Democrat.
And then I have all that free
Many
space
students who attend these schools are effectively
for another radio.
foot soldiers for the American Marxists or a count in the sign.
So now I found
Right
them.
on, folks.
I was looking for this.
You have to wonder where the college students will eventually take our country because they will one day become the lawyers, judges,
I was looking for it.
executives, labor leaders, etc.
Wow.
Around the institutions of government society.
I didn't know I had them in there. I thought I had them in the bag.
Right here.
It's a dusty one.
And really growing it up lately. Obviously,
So,
it's available on Amazon.
and then
I see they have a
where's the bracket?
45% discount on it right now.
What are they with the
That's
bracket?
huge. $16 a game. For any major bookstore
So I have the
or warehouse
bracket.
other than Barnes & Noble, where it's readily available elsewhere.
So I'm thinking about putting it right. Let me.
I want to thank all these retail outlets that didn't buckle.
So I'm thinking about
And
putting it right,
Amazon.com.
right here. Take that
This
radio.
book is not in enough hands. It's certainly not in enough
Put it right
hands
here.
in the media. So just
I want to maximize
the more
space.
I know, the more I watch, the dumber these bastards are.
Let's put it
And
there.
some of them won't even take actual knowledge.
But I like this.
Explaining to their listeners, their viewers.
But the reason why I like this radio like that because I like the kickstand on this one.
Oh, look at this. So these campuses are what? That's not what's going on.
Because
The
it is.
enemy is devouring our culture.
Let me see. I'm trying to. Can I see? This thing is a word zoom.
It's not rational to use a passive explanation for what's taking place here. I have a question for you.
See how this one has all the frequent. If this one tells you all the frequencies right there. Unless I mount it with it open like that.
Flags with swastikas. They're saying gas
I'll
the
close
Jews,
it.
exterminate the Jews.
When I mount it, I can close it. So
They're
now
saying
I'm thinking about mounting it because I really want to maximize the space.
two-state solution.
So if I mount
The
that
final
one
solution,
here,
something that I've been saying that is what they want.
then
Who are lying about
I have an
Israel,
HD
lying
receiver
about
that I
Israel
wouldn't want to put here.
for different reasons.
So I may bring that HD tuner down here.
How do you think they're going to vote, Mr. Medusa?
I think that's what I think I'm gonna mount this one here
Think they're going to vote Republican?
and bring up my. I have a
Think they would vote for
Sangean.
Donald Trump?
I have a Sangean HD tuner, right? HDT1. So I was thinking about putting it here, HD tuner, and hook it up to. Right now, I will have to use it with an FM dipole. I'll just temporarily put an FM dipole, and then AM is tricky because I could hook it up with the MFJ or the. Yeah, that could be my third. That could be my third connection. Yeah, that could be my third connection. Because that tuner that I said, that's the one that has AM and AM HD and all that. That one has that. That one has that's the only FM. I mean, that's the only HD radio that has AM and FM. Because that portable, my Insignia, that's FM only. So that tuner, that's the only tuner I have that does AM and FM and AM HD on that one too. You know, so I hook it up here. And it's just a tuner though, so I still need a receiver for it. So I was thinking about hooking up the tuner here, and then up here I will put my receiver. This is gonna go. All right, excuse me. Now I have a plan. Now I have a plan, baby. Yeah. So I'll put the tuner here. Of course, this I gotta move down a little bit. I have a Yamaha receiver. It's I like it because it also has internet radio. I haven't made a video on that in a long time. It's a Yamaha stereo receiver. It's a surround sound receiver and all that. It has multi inputs and all that. I could hook up my tuner to that, and then I would need speakers for that. Speakers. Maybe I could put the speaker on. Or if I don't use the tuner, I could use computer speakers. The sound bar. I could hook up the sound bar directly to the because amplified. I could use a sound bar. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll hook up the sound bar. I have the sound bar over here, back here. You can't see it. And I'll have the HD tuner hooked up to the sound bar. I think that'll work better. I would like to put the tuner, but the problem with the tuner is that I need speakers. Right now, the tuner's in the basement with two big, what they call DJ speakers. I have those big 20-inch woofers on them. So I have that in the basement. That's what I listen to down there. I have that down there. I have it hooked up to a turntable, a tape deck, and all that. That's my stereo system down there. So if I bring that up here, the problem is the speakers. I mean, I could get bookshelf speakers or smaller speakers, but I don't have any bookshelf speakers right now. But where the hell I'm going to put bookshelf speaker? I'm running out of space up here. So it makes sense to put a sound bar because it's amplified. I could hook it up. Because that's the other thing with that tuner. I can hook up computer speakers to it, which I've done in the past, or amplified soundbar. I think that'll be better. So I could do HD radio listening here with the soundbar. And the subwoofer for that, I'll put it over there on the floor. James Farley, were you able to listen to that 80-year Wolf RAM transmitter special event the other day? I didn't get to listen. I didn't hear it. I mean, I didn't listen. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even hear about it. So yeah. So now that's my next plan, I think. So the next plan is to get this thing over here. Now that I found this, I had this, but now that I found these, I'm gonna mount it here. It makes sense. I want to put my tuner here. My HD tuner. And use that. I have a couple of maybe I could use two tuners, but I have another tuner. It's a Denon. I bought it in a Goodwill. I think I paid like $10. It's a Denon AM FM tuner. It's pretty good. It's not but it's not HD. The Sangean one is HD. So I should hook up the Sangean one here. I'll have it hooked up for FM. I'll have it hooked up to a FM dipole for now, indoor. And when the weather warms up next year, I'll probably do another pass through and put that antenna. It's over there. You know the FM loop? Remember the FM loop? I want to have a dedicated FM loop and have that for FM. Wolferton. Yeah, I figured it was at Wolferton. All right. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the stream for tonight. So I just popped in for a couple of hours, 2 hours and 2 hours and 30 minutes now in about a second. So I'm gonna end the stream. And have a couple of videos coming up. Of course, I'll be on Saturday. Today is Wednesday. Anything I wanted to get this up here. So one step closer to my completion of the shack. When I say completion, yeah. Getting there. So now I gotta move this guy down here. Anchor that. I'll do that tomorrow. And then I'll bring up my HD receiver, hook it up here with some. So I'm gonna need another outlet. Another outlet to plug one receiver, and I mean, yeah, 1, 2, and the. So I'm gonna need another power strip somewhere. Damn, Danny, I got this. All right. So you see the evolution of the shack now, compared to my last stream on the basement was May 9th. And now we're in October. We're about less than 2 weeks away from Halloween. I'm almost there. I'm almost completed. This was my major obstacle, to put the radios on this side. So I achieved it. I think I did a pretty good job of bringing all this on. Remember the way I had everything in the basement? But I still got a few more things. I think I'm going to mount this here. Got room for another radio here. And then maybe that speaker is going to go here. Actually, if I put that radio here now, this speaker's for this one. But if I mount this here, let me show you before I sign off. When I mount this here, I might put the speaker. Actually, I might mount the radio here and put that speaker here. And then I'll have room for 1, 2. So I don't want to go radio. Hey, you never know. One of you radio could go here. And then that'll complete that. So I didn't even focus. So this is going to be over here. So there'll be one space to occupy here. And then I can put another radio here. I'm going to put the receiver. I think that the HD receiver is going to go here. Sanji and HD tuner is going to go here. And then here, I have two options. I have either the receiver with internet radio stuff on there. But then I need speakers for that, which I don't want to. That's the problem. I don't want to put big speakers here. Or I can put another radio here later on. Or let me see what radio. Maybe I'll dust off the one of my tube radios. A tube radio here, maybe. Yeah. Hello, Mike, Miggy. I'm about to sign off right now. Sorry. Yeah, I just popped in today. I already been out for 2 hours and 33 minutes. Yeah, so I'm sorry that Miggy, you're on, and I'm gonna sign off right now. I'll see you Saturday. So yeah, so that's my next step. Now I got this here. So my next step is you went to Alaska. Wow. I've been in Alaska. Wow. How cool is that? You went to Alaska. That's cool. I hope you did some band scans, videos. I would have done some band scans. Alaska, you would have picked that. What you picked that Russia medium wave? Band scans, man. I could have done band scans and all that. Wow. Alaska. That's a whole nother world. That's cool though. You flew there? Or you went on one of those cruises? Like, I think you fly to Seattle or something. There's a boat that goes up there. Anyway, you got to save that for Saturday. You got to tell me about that on Saturday, I guess. That's pretty cool, though. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. So I tried, but pretty much nothing. I did get 1730, a Russians, right? Okay. So, yeah, you got to save that for Saturday. I got to know all about that. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Like I said, all my links are right there on the pin. You can also go to my, let me just put it one more time. My social media is there. Hit me up on all my social media. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. I'm gonna go over here. And I'll see you soon. Enjoy your evening. Take care. Bye-bye.